Hey folks, this is Drew Barrett. I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel, and if you get the opportunity, you can feel free to subscribe. You can check me out on Facebook. You can check me out on Twitter. I'm not using any notes today, so this could get pretty random pretty quick, but I wanted to clarify something that I think is misleading a lot of folks. I had someone the other day call me positive, motivational Drew, or positive Drew or something, and I appreciate that, don't get me wrong. I think that's awesome, but that's not really what I am trying to do. What I'm trying to do is let folks know that no matter what you're going through, somebody's already been through it and beat it, and they've gotten out on the other side. And what I go through and what you go through, even though they're totally different things, they're both just important to me and you, because we're going through them. A lot of these motivational guys, they get on there and they talk about how wonderful it is, and they're posing next to their Lamborghini or their Bentley, or they're getting on their Learjet, and they're telling you, if you'll just do what I do, you'll be successful and all that crap. I'm not doing that at all, so don't misunderstand it. What I am trying to do is I'm trying to touch the folks that are out there that are hurting, and they don't want to show people they're hurting. They're struggling, and they don't want to show people they're struggling. They're fighting, or they're scared, and they don't want to show people they're doing that. They're going through depression or whatever it is, and they just don't know how to get around it. And because I struggle every day, and I don't want to ever let you think that I don't. A lot of times after I shoot these videos, I end up in bed having to recover just from sitting the 10 or 15 minutes it took to shoot the video. One of my surgeries, they cut me from my diaphragm to my belly, or to my waistline. So all those muscles had to heal, and it hurts a lot just to sit. I'm very fortunate enough that if I sit too long, it hurts. If I stand too long, it hurts. So I'm a winner. So every day is a struggle. But let me just give you some tips on what I do personally, just as a reminder to kind of keep my brain focused and keep me looking forward versus backward. The first thing I do in the morning is I reach for my cell phone, which a lot of people say, don't ever reach for your cell phone. I reach for my cell phone because I know that there's going to be a devotional from Danny Young. And I read that devotional first thing. And then the second thing I read is my daily Bible verse from Bible Gateway or YouVersion. I don't know which, but it's one of those apps that sends me a verse every day. The third thing that I do is going to sound crazy, but when you wake up, you're in that brain fog. What science has shown and studies show is that your brain is most receptive when you first wake up. It doesn't matter if you're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, or 10 o'clock in the morning, whatever time you wake up, that your brain is on fire. It is trying to receive and send as much information as it possibly can. So the third thing that I do is I start some kind of speaker, whether it's a Tony Robbins, a pastor, whoever. I start something. T.D. Jakes is one I listen to. Zig Ziglar is one I listen to. There's a million of them. But I get that going on Facebook while I'm walking around in my fog, taking my meds, making my morning coffee or breakfast or whatever. And then basically, I continue to listen to that all day during the work day or during the awake day when my wife's at school or when she's working. And I know it drives her and my son crazy because no matter what room I'm in, that's usually what's going. The reason I did that is because a lot of you know, but here's the ones that you don't know. A lot of you know that I've had 19 surgeries since 2012. 5 of those were heart surgeries. One of them was a horrible colectomy where my sigmoid colon blew and we didn't know it for 3 days. And we ended up in the hospital and emergency surgery and all that stuff. And they didn't even tell us for 2 months because they didn't want us to know I was within 6 hours of death when that surgery happened. But regardless, I ended up with a 5-pound weight restriction back in 2017. Dad started our company, started working in this industry in '66, and we're in the copier business. So there are no 5-pound copy machines. There are no 5-pound laptops. We do a lot of IT business. So, my wife, who's the disabled veteran and full-time college student, and trying to help with Ethan, who's a full-time college student, she's trying to run that business, and I basically defaulted to my bedroom and just Netflixed it forever. And I got into such a funk that I had to start taking some medication, and started doing a little reading. And we've talked about the reading. I showed you on some other videos some of the reading. I don't know if you can see these books here. They're just stacked right here. Those are the ones I've not read. Then right there on that little shelf, those are the ones I have read, and then I've got 2 upstairs I'm in the middle of reading. So I started reading on trying to retrain my brain and really pull out some seeds that I've had planted in my brain that I just quit using. I forgot about using them. So, I knew years and years and years ago when there was an obstacle in front of me how to get around it, through it, or over it. That was never my issue, and then somehow I lost that fight. So, when your body's working against you, your brain will work against you. But what we were trained at an early age, my late teens and early 20s, was your brain is in charge of your body. Your body's not in charge of your brain. So whatever your mind says, your body should react. It's not the reverse. But we all lose that. We all lose that. So, like I said, I really made a focus about 2 months ago to retrain my brain and get back to where I needed to be, which is doing these videos right now. Like I said, I can do a 10-minute video maybe every few days and keep somebody motivated, maybe touch somebody's heart, maybe let somebody know they're not the only one, and that's cool. If that works, that's great. But if it doesn't, I just feel like maybe I just need to say it out loud and hear it myself. And so, but either way, it's working. So I've had a lot of technical trouble this morning with YouTube. So I'm trying to do a Facebook Live. So yes, this is live right now. And I'm going to try to backward post it to YouTube. But I don't know if YouTube's not liking my videos, maybe because I say God too much or talk about scripture or whatever. Probably just me guessing. But my videos will not load on YouTube as of today. But we're going to get through it. But anyway, I'm going to keep doing this. But you have to bear in mind, you have to fix you. You cannot sit around and feel sorry for yourself, because even though you're going to have family members and friends that kind of feel sorry for you, they're really wishing you get over it. So you've got to get over yourself. You've got to retrain your brain. You've got to relearn that no matter what the day throws at you, you've had your worst day in the past. Today, I promise you, probably it's not going to be worse than the worst day you've ever had, that you survived, that you got through, and you're here. So whatever day that is, go back and think about that day and go, I made it. So the first thing I do in the morning is I do my devotional, I read my Bible verse, and I get motivation going, and I give thanks for waking up that day. Because I'm telling you, my poor wife is sitting right here off screen. She can tell you, there are days we had where we weren't sure if I was going to wake up the next morning. So I am very thankful every day to wake up. Then the last thing I do at night is I simply try to read one chapter. I don't read the entire book, but I try to read a chapter a night right at bedtime, and then I give thanks for the day that I've had. No matter how good, bad, or in between, I give thanks for that day. So anyway, I just wanted to clear up, my life's not perfect. And if you're local here and you see me out in public, I will say 90% of the time I'm faking it. But I'm going to fake it till I make it. But I just don't feel good. But I don't want to drag you down because I don't feel good. I don't want to drag my family down because I don't feel good. Because I know that at the end of the day, it's all going to be the same and we're all going to be okay. So, but people ask me, all the time, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? And I go, well, I'm good for me, which is the absolute truth. I'm actually great for me, but I'm not good, and I'm not going to be good again, and that's fine, and I accept it, but I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself about it. I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to do whatever I can do to help as many people as I can that are going through the crap I've been through or going through crap on their own, because maybe something I say, they can steer that toward their life and go, hey, I've been through something like that. Celebrate Recovery. I try to go on Monday nights. Celebrate Recovery is a wonderful thing. And I'll tell you why it's a wonderful thing. I've never been a drug addict. I've never been an alcoholic. So, I'm not one of these guys, if you ask me to come to your church and do a testimony that goes, oh, I was on drugs, and I'm not that guy. But recovery is more about drugs and alcohol. Recovery is about relationships. Recovery is about, with me, recovery is about medical issues. I am always recovering. I don't want to go back through that again, even though there's nothing I personally could have done to prevent that. But maybe my story of I have to get up and fight every day impacts somebody. Maybe that helps some kid out there somewhere. Maybe that helps some younger person or somebody my age or older, that you are never too old. You are never too young to start fixing yourself. We were in Tuscaloosa last year, and a gentleman, he said it, what we call the liars table up here, is a group of older gentlemen, 50s and 60s, and you could tell when he walked in, the whole restaurant basically lit up and just started giving this guy a hard time. I mean, they were wearing him out sideways. And you could tell he's a gruff guy, and he said, I ain't putting up with it this morning. And, of course, we're just sitting here over at our table watching. And my brother-in-law was with me. My brother-in-law's a knee-down amputee. So he was with me, and they were just wearing this guy out. And they one of them finally said, well, what's wrong with you this morning? And he said, I got colon cancer. Found out yesterday. And he said, I've never been sick a day in my life, and here I've got this cancer. That's exactly what he said. And I just listened to him and listened, and they were trying to calm him down and let him know it was going to be okay. He had only been to the doctor and found out the results. He still had upcoming appointments and things like that. And the man had to be 70 years old. He's wearing overalls. And I just told John, I said, I got to go talk to this guy. I don't know why I had to go talk to the guy, but I went and talked to the guy. And they were all there, and I said, is this the official liars table? And they all laughed and hee-hawed. And I put my hand on his shoulder, and I reached down because I didn't want to embarrass him, and I got close to his ear, and I said, let me tell you something. I said, I got a feeling that you have fought your whole life, and that you've worked hard your whole life. And he said, yes, sir, I have. And he said, where are you from? And I said, Tennessee, but I'm an Alabama fan. And he said, okay. And he laughed, and they all laughed. And I said, you don't quit fighting this cancer. I said, you keep fighting like it's everything you've ever fought for in your life. And I said, I guarantee you've got a really good doctor, and he knows what he's doing, but you got to listen to him, but you got to fight too. And that man started crying in front of all his buddies, started crying, and it really threw me for a loop. And by the time we got done, I shook his hand, and his hand felt like sandpaper. I mean, this was a working man, and he had just got devastating news. But I don't ever know what happened. I'll see if he's there this year, I guess, when we go to the ball games and eat breakfast, if he's there. But if he's not, I'm pretty sure he went down fighting. And if he is, I think he's going to be there because he fought. But, there are so many people around us that are fighting a fight that we never see. There are so many people around us that are struggling with something that we can't see on the outside because they're faking it until they make it. Sorry, my eye is burning. So, I challenge you to, be a little more receptive and understanding, and when you see somebody that may be struggling that you may not. But I really challenge you, if you're struggling, I challenge you right now, at this exact moment, get over it, get through it, get around it. But you have got to do it, and you can do it. You're going to have faith. You're going to have a relationship with God. You're going to have a relationship with your family, and you're going to have a relationship with your friends, and you're going to have to trust your doctors or whatever. But you're going to have to do your part. You can't sit around and wait on somebody else to fix you, because it will never, ever, ever happen if you don't try. So other than that, I'm going to get off of here. We're going to hope this thing will load to YouTube. Maybe it won't. YouTube might be mad at me. But either way, I want to say this. I believe you can do it. And if you need to talk to me, you talk to me. You send me a comment, private message. Some of you have my cell phone number. You call me, we'll talk. If you ever want to get together, holler. But if you're sitting there right now thinking nobody understands what you're going through, and you're sitting there thinking nobody loves you, let me tell you something. I would understand what you're going through, and I love you. And if you ever give me the opportunity, I'll tell you about somebody that loves us all. So with that being said, deuces.